Okay guys, so I'm on chapter 39 of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and before I finished it, I just wanted to share what my thoughts are so far, because also I'm going to be doing full spoilers because many of us have already read this series, and if you haven't, you can skip ahead. I'll put down here at which point you can skip ahead to, but I just want to like share with you guys my thoughts because this is a reread, and because I already started it before I started filming the reread, I wanted to catch you guys up on what I found. So in the beginning, the stones, the markings in front of her house, and the markings that signify the hole in the wall, the invisible wall between the human lands and Prithian, it's giving word symbols. It's giving the language that is heavily talked about in the Throne of Glass series. That's the first thing I thought, okay? Then the black blood, like with the Naga, and there was something else that had black blood or something, but it's giving Valg from Throne of Glass. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it, but I did read a couple chapters ago that it was like something earth and blood. So I'm seeing literally these little hints and these little sneak peeks of all of Sarah J Maas's series kind of intertwined in little subtle ways. Like they don't give much, but they give enough. You know what I'm saying? Like they give enough hints as to she's written other series that revolve around Fae and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Also, I wanted to talk about Tamlin. It's been exactly 1 year since I read this series in its entirety, and because I'm rereading it now, I want to talk about how in this book, honestly, he really does seem like an upstanding guy, and that he really does love Feyre, okay? So because, you know, he protects her from Amarantha, and he really does his best not to, you know, seem like he's enslaving her, even though the terms of the treaty kind of make it seem like no matter what, he has to make her fall in love with him. It just does seem that he really loves her and he wants to protect her. And you know, with the whole thing with Claire Better, it seems like Rhysand and Tamlin wanted to protect Feyre. So I remember most of what happened, but I don't really remember why Rhysand acts the way he does in this book. Like I know that he's, you know, putting a front up because of the circumstances in Prithian, but my thing is he's literally like cruel and like mean to Feyre initially. And I know that it's before the mating bond has snapped in, but I feel like he kind of knew because he tells the guards not to hurt her when she's in the dungeon. He saved her from those weird fairies at Fire Night, but like he also was cruel and he hurt her arm deliberately when she had just finished, you know, fighting the worm or whatever in the first trial. So he's nice, but he's not. He's offering her kindness, but he's not. He's being also very mean and cruel and like a little bit sinister. So I'm just conflicted because his actions are, I want to help you, but I also want you to be scared of me. I don't know. And then I just see Tamlin in this book actually genuinely caring for Feyre. I know that it changes in the second book and he becomes traumatized and his actions are like not great, and you know who comes to save the day, but I think I really have to reread that part where everything kind of falls apart and the character development starts developing, because I don't remember the transition between Feyre and Tamlin and Rhysand. Also, Lucian in this book is kind of annoying, but I remember really being fond of him in the next two books. So there's a lot that I'm conflicted of. There's a lot that I'm noticing that I didn't notice before, and a lot that I'm like, wait, how did that even come to happen? But this book has a lot of information. It's definitely world building 100%. I'll let you know if there's any more updates before I finish this book. Maybe I'll tell you afterwards. I'm going to continue reading and hopefully finish this book right now. Alright guys, it is the same day, just a little bit later. I changed and I have officially finished A Court of Thorns and Roses. So, towards the end, I definitely saw what Sarah J Maas was trying to do between Rhysand and Feyre. I noticed the bonds, I noticed his personality and his demeanor change towards her. He's always been a mysterious character. I think more is revealed in the second book, and honestly, I remember the least from the second book. So maybe all my questions will be answered, but my only thing is like, why was he so cruel in the beginning to her. Why was he so like kind of mean and aloof and like threatening? And I understand that he had to like put up a front for Tamlin and Lucian because of the circumstances with Amarantha. But I don't know. I just feel like it didn't have to. I mean, to be fair, he was nice to her on Fire Night for the most part. But anyways, I just keep remembering the fact that he literally like twisted the bone shard on her arm and how he just made her get drunk every single night and like dance for him. So like those two things, I'm like, okay, that was kind of messed up. Like that was kind of not great of you. We all know how it ends. They succeed, Feyre prevails, they make her one of the High Fae, and then she goes home with Tamlin. And at this point, she's still in love with Tamlin. But we got to the part where Rhysand notices the mating bond latch on. Basically, prior to that, he didn't necessarily know. I think he had an inkling, like I think he thought it could be, but I don't think he knew for sure, which makes me also question like why did he even want her for 2 weeks to go to the night court in the first place, like before he knew that they were mates. I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I'm sure it's going to be resolved or revealed in the second book. So I have the whole series right here in the box set. I'm actually so excited. That's so huge. I'm so excited to start this. Honestly, these books are probably, out of every single book that I own and have read, one of the most beautiful books that I own. Truly. Because they're just stunning. The covers, everything about them is beautiful. So this is the second book in the series I'm going to start reading. The final rating for A Court of Thorns and Roses for my reread is none other than 5 stars. Also, just so you guys know, my favorite was actually A Court of Wings and Ruin. It wasn't A Court of Mist and Fury. Everyone and their mother loved A Court of Mist and Fury, but I was so into the action and the politics and the war of this book that honestly A Court of Mist and Fury kind of got left in the back burner of my brain. So I'm very, very, very excited to start it. So you will see me in the next clip start reading A Court of Mist and Fury. Cue the next reading montage. Okay, so I'm on page 7. Right off the bat in the beginning of this book, Feyre is throwing up because of her nightmares, and Tamlin never wakes up. And the one thing, so I actually had forgotten a lot of what happened in this book. The only thing I remembered was when she would go to visit Rhysand for once a week every month. I can't figure out is that if Tamlin loved her so much, I feel like he would have known that she was waking up and throwing up. Like, you can hear that. He's Fae. How did you not sense that she was having nightmares? How did he not sense that she was getting out of bed? How did he not hear her throwing up? Like, I feel like in every single Fae book I've read, especially of Sarah J. Maas, like the Fae males just are hyper aware of everything all the time. So I'm just like, was Tamlin really that passed out, or like did he just not care? Like, I've always been curious about that. But yeah, I'm excited to keep reading this book because I honestly don't remember a lot of it. But also something cute is that these are Christmas colors. I love that. That makes me so happy. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading now, but I just needed to say that because I can't believe that. Like, he just kept sleeping. Like, that doesn't make any sense. She was never. It said his eyes flickered with distaste when she was shaking because of him. I think it was because he didn't want her to be scared of him. I think that's his eyes flickered with distaste. I think that's why he didn't like that. Like, he didn't want her to be scared of him. That's my theory. Okay guys, so I'm in a little weekend getaway right now in Massachusetts, but I'm still reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and like, I decided I'm just gonna pick and choose what I talk about because there's so many things that I can mention and that I could talk about and that I could question or be shocked by. But I just finished chapter 8. I'm literally not even on page 100 yet, and when Feyre accidentally zooms into Lucian's head, I felt this way from the beginning and I still feel that way now, is justice for Lucian. Tamlin treats him literally like crap. Like, he treats him like his favorite guard dog. I feel like even dogs are treated better than Lucian. Like, he's not allowed to have an opinion. He's not allowed to speak out of turn. I'm just gonna lay it all out there for you guys. Tamlin is literally a coward. He does nothing for Feyre. He's never protected her. He didn't keep her from Amarantha, and he didn't keep her from Rhysand. And he's like, oh, I love you so much. I miss you so much. I went crazy without you. You did nothing to save her, to protect her, to get her back to you. You just sat there and destroyed your house. So it's just like super annoying. But anyways, I'm gonna try. So we go back tomorrow, and I doubt I'm gonna get to page 200 at that time. But I'm gonna try to finish this book as soon as possible because, oh, it smells so good. Just because I've been on this for way too long. Like, way too long. That's what I wanted to say. And right now, it's like the slow burn buildup of Rhysand and Feyre. He's not using her as a pawn. I'll let you know how I feel about the romance in this reread because I loved it in the first time I read the series, but we'll see now that I'm paying attention to more things and now that I have matured. So that's my update. I'm gonna keep reading. So you mean to tell me that Tamlin knew that she wasn't sleeping the night and did literally absolutely nothing to comfort her or to help her? Throw the man away. Throw the man away. What's up, guys? I know it's been literally so long since I last updated you on this book. I think it's actually been over a week since I last updated you talking in this clip, but I wanted to tell you I'm almost done. I have a little under 100 pages left. Oh, let me not spoil things for myself. Actually, I only have 50 pages left, so that's very exciting. But let me tell you what my thoughts were the past 200 pages that I just read. Thought number one, justice for Tarkin. I'm gonna leave it as that is. I just thought he was so pure and honest, and I know he didn't want to give them the book, but still, justice for Tarkin. I understand why Feyre felt bad, because I would have felt bad too, because he was a good egg. He seems like a good egg. The second thing I wanted to say is the slow burn of Rhys and Feyre's relationship, and literally it takes this entire book for them to finally admit to having feelings for each other, even though they already knew that they did, but they were trying to hide it. Like, the slow burn is absolutely A1, exquisite. I love slow burn, and I love the way that Sarah J. Maas did it in this book. I think the reason I forgot so much of this book the first time that I read it is because it really is just the developmental aspects of Feyre and Rhys's relationship. It's a lot of training and there is a lot of action, but the first book is, I don't know, I just think the first and the last book just have more to them, like more action and more happenings, whereas this book really just feels like a slow burn romance, and I'm totally here for it. I've been enjoying reading this book this second time around so much more. Like, I'm remembering so many things, and I'm excited to get to certain parts that I remember that were my favorites when I read it last year. So I'm very, very excited. I think those were my only thoughts. I think I read something last night or the day before that I was like, oh yeah, chapter 53 I think it was, and I was like, foreshadowing, heavily foreshadowing, like it was crazy. Wait, I want to find it for you guys. Oh, something else that I wanted to say is that it literally took her like 436 pages to laugh, like for the first time, because she was so wounded and broken. Like, that hurt me inside for her. It literally took 400 pages for this girl to laugh. Like, that's insane. And then the description of it was, I rasped out a chuckle. Like, oh my gosh. Yes, chapter 53 is a huge spoiler or foreshadowing to A Court of Frost and Starlight, and also even to A Court of Wings and Ruin as well. You guys should comment down below theories that you guys have of how all three Sarah J. Maas's series come together, because I've seen so many on TikTok and I've been pretty invested in learning about them. And since House of Flame and Shadow is coming out very soon, I want to know what you guys think. So if you've read the series of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, please comment down below theories on who Amryn is, because I have a couple theories on who Amryn is, where she came from. I also have a few questions on Nesta and Elaine, and like more about Nesta, because I know we have her book, but still. Anyway, anyways, those are the thoughts that I had. Justice for Tarkin. I'm so happy Feyre has had her found family moment. The slow burn between her and Rhys is everything. It's just everything. So I'm gonna go finish this book. I'll let you know what I think after I am done. Alright guys, I have finished A Court of Mist and Fury. This 626 page book I have finished to reread. None other than 5 stars. Not a surprise. This book is phenomenal. And the writing and the action and the slow burn and the romance and the foreshadowing and the little minute details and the language, 5 stars through and through. When I tell you this book leaves you with such great expectation of the next book in the series, I literally am going to start A Court of Wings and Ruin immediately after I film this clip. But I will say I'm going to end this video here, meaning that there will be 3 parts. I'm anticipating 3 parts to me completing the Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, because this video is getting a little bit long. I talked about the first book, I just finished the second book. This book took me like 2 weeks to finish. A Court of Wings and Ruin is, I think, a little bit longer than this one, and in that video I will be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight. So I'm going to try to finish those books before 2024 and have that video out for you before 2024, but I want to stay true to myself and the amount of time it takes for me to read. So I don't want to rush it. I don't want to force myself to read quicker than I can. I just want to enjoy this series because, like I've said in so many other videos, this is my favorite series of all time. So I'm gonna start that right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch me read A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, and I am very, very, very excited to see how Feyre wreaks havoc on the world in the 3rd book, and to see all of her and Rhys's dreams come true. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I will see you guys in the next video for Vlogmas, which is going to be coming out tomorrow. Comment down below what books you're reading or rereading right now, and also comment down below what books you want to see me post and read in 2024. I'm gonna go start A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I'll see you in that reading vlog as well. God bless you guys, and peace.